Hey everyone! So for today's video, I kind of just wanted to sit down and kind of talk to you guys. I have not really done a video like this yet. I've done some tag, like getting to know me type videos, but I really haven't done just kind of a sit down and kind of chat sort of video since I've started making videos again, which I've been making videos again for about a month. And I have to say that I've really been enjoying making videos again. I've really been enjoying talking to you guys and being more involved in kind of the YouTube community. For so long, I just was a watcher of videos, so it's been really fun to actually be making videos again. I previously did make videos back, it was like from 2011 to 2012. The last video I had posted was like the end of 2012, and then all of 2013 I didn't make anything, and it was just this end of this September this year that I started making videos again. And when I made videos before, I wasn't as committed to it. I kind of just made them as I felt like it, and I'd have like months at a time where I wouldn't post anything, but I really am more committed this time, and I'm trying to film videos like more on a schedule. Um, my kind of current plan, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm trying to have 4 videos a week. Um, one being the Tag Tuesday sort of videos, which I'm posting every Tuesday. It won't always be, my Tuesday video won't always necessarily be a tag, but I have had fun filming tags, and I've kind of done a mixture of sort of like get to know me tags, some more beauty sort of related tags, but I just think that's kind of a fun way to get sort of random information about me, and there's so many tags out there, and I've just been watching videos for so long, and like I've seen a lot of tags that I've wanted to do, so this is kind of like that idea for Tuesday. Then I'm doing Thursday videos, which kind of the plan for Thursday videos is just to have some sort of beauty related video. I'm still at the beginning stages of like creating these videos, so that's kind of my original plan. For Saturday, I want to alternate every week between Project 10 Pan updates and then the weekly makeup bags. So that's what I've been doing the past few weeks, and that's kind of my current plan for the Saturday videos. And then Sunday, which is today's video, I kind of want, or my original plan, and I haven't quite been sticking to this, but my current plan for Sunday is to kind of have a non sort of beauty video. I've been into BookTube lately, so I'd like to do some more kind of booked theme videos, maybe more talking sort of videos like this, just not necessarily a makeup centric video. I know last week on Sunday I did my palette collection, so I haven't really been sticking to that, but that was kind of my original thought when I came up with doing like 4 videos a week. But yeah, so hopefully you'll see more book sort of centric videos from me. So far I've only done like the reading wrap-ups, and I'm planning to continue with that. So we'll just see where my channel takes me, but I've been really enjoying kind of really getting into posting again. So I also wanted to give you guys some more kind of background information on myself. So I originally was born in Michigan, which when I watch my videos, I don't think you always notice like how you talk or like your accent, or I don't know, like in everyday life you might not notice it as much, but watching my videos I'm like, I definitely have like a sort of like a Midwestern accent, at least I think I do, or certain words I will notice that I will say and I'm like, ugh. But I was born in Michigan. I lived there until I was 15, and I moved out to California when I was a freshman in high school with my family, which was quite like the culture shock. Previously, I had always gone to like a private like Catholic school, with like very few people in my class, and you kind of grew up going to school with the same people. We would only, in like an elementary school, we had a maximum of like 2 like classes, so there would maybe be about like 50 kids in your whole like grade. So you grew up with the same people, went to school with the same people. Like my parents were friends with the parents and knew the parents. I have a younger brother. So like our families would be friends with other families with kids our same age. So my parents knew everyone. I knew everyone. So it was a big change moving out to California and going to public school. Now my parents, we did move to a small town in Northern California. And it wasn't like a huge like high school that I went to, but from going from the little private school to a public school, it was like a huge like culture shock. I grew up, I guess, really sheltered. I mean, I personally didn't think of it that way when I was younger. I wasn't like resentful, or I didn't think my life's really bad. I wish I could do all this stuff. I think it was good, and it let me be a kid actually in life versus like having to be a grown up a lot faster. Like when I was a kid, I really loved reading. I still love reading, but loved going to the library. Like the ways I was sheltered, like there are certain like TV shows and stuff my mom wouldn't let my brother and me watch. Like she didn't let us watch Saved by the Bell. On Nickelodeon in the 90s, there was a show called Salute Your Shorts. I don't know if people remember this show or remember Nickelodeon like TV shows in the 90s, but for some reason, like I don't even know why she wouldn't let us watch that show, but we weren't allowed to watch that show. We had like MTV, we had it, but it was like blocked. So we couldn't get that channel. I would have to like go to the neighbor's house and we'd watch MTV there. I don't think they were supposed to watch MTV either, but they still had MTV, so we'd watch it there. Yeah, so like certain things like, and it was kind of funny because like kid or young preteen teenager sort of shows like I wasn't allowed to watch, but like when I was in 4th grade, my favorite show was like Seinfeld. So I was allowed to watch certain like adult themed shows, but not like more kid themed shows. So yeah, I don't know. She just had certain things we weren't allowed to watch. And then with movies, we pretty much would only watch like PG sort of movies. PG-13 we weren't really allowed to watch. Definitely no R-rated movies. Yeah, it was kind of different than the other kids in my class. I remember we had to write down, like, what's your favorite movie? And I'd be like, my favorite movie is, like, some Disney movie or something. Like, I always felt like I had to lie and pretend that I liked a movie that I wasn't really allowed to watch, just so I felt like I fit in with other kids. But besides that, I never felt like, oh, I'm super restricted or anything. Also, the other thing was music. Like, this was more for my brother. I remember my mom would, like, not let him get certain CDs. If they had, like, any explicit content, he was allowed to get them. I didn't really have that problem with any music that I got, but he definitely, she was like, look up reviews on stuff, and, yeah, certain things were just, like, a big no-no. So when I went to this high school, I was this really sheltered kid that had only gone to like private school and on my first day of public school. So this will show you how sheltered I was. The first day of my public school, I guess, career is when I heard the F word, and I won't say the actual word. I don't know who's watching this video, and I don't want to offend anyone, but that's the first time I ever heard the F word in my life. I was 15. That's like unheard of. But that is like how, like even at our, like the school I went to previously, the Catholic school, like people didn't cuss. I mean, we weren't like angels or anything, but people just didn't cuss. Like you'd be sent to the principal's office. It like just wasn't tolerated. But new public school, people could just say whatever they wanted. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? So it was a really big culture shock. And I mean, I did like high school. I was in a lot of like honors classes, and I made a lot of friends through my different classes. But I more in high school had friends that were kids that were in my classes. I didn't really have a lot of friends that I would hang out with outside of like school. A lot of it had to do with, since I did live in a small town, the high school that I went to kind of pulled kids from like all different towns, and some like kind of lived far away. So I really didn't see a lot of people like on the weekends. So I spent a lot of time kind of by myself or like doing stuff with my parents. So it's kind of like a quiet, like I'd study a lot and read, and that was kind of me in high school. I mean, that's still kind of me, let's be honest, but that was kind of my high school experience. It was just sort of like, I'm in this new place, I feel like I don't fit in. Um, so I would focus on what I was good at, and that was schoolwork. So I was always like one of the top ones in my class and would study, and like that was my thing. And then I went off to college. I didn't go away that far away from where my parents lived for college. My freshman year, I was really into going to class and doing all my homework and doing all the readings and like taking notes and everything. I was like, I'm going to be the most diligent student. I am going to get really good grades. Yeah, so I really didn't make a lot of friends my freshman year. I really felt kind of uncomfortable, and I would also go home a lot of the weekends in college. And like if I could change one thing or tell myself one thing, go back in time and tell myself, I'd be like, make an effort, try to make friends. You don't need to be a super social person and like spend every moment of the day doing something, but you can actually try to make friends. You don't need to stay in your room and like just read and like do schoolwork the whole day. Like the point of school isn't just to be doing homework the whole time. The point is to kind of create friendships and, be social. That's part of it. So my freshman year, I just was kind of miserable. And luckily, so I was an education major my first year. So even though I liked those classes, they had us do field work, and I was seeing that I really don't want to be a teacher. This is like my personality is really wouldn't be great for being a teacher. I'm kind of very like structure, and I was like, I could come up with a great lesson plan, or I thought it was great in my head, and then like these kids, I can't really make them or force them to listen. So I kind of realized that my major wasn't right. I wasn't really making friends. Even though I was doing really well in my classes, I just kind of felt like something wasn't right. So before, like right a week before or something, my sophomore year, I decided to change my major. I switched to business. I thought it was really practical. I need to always be super practical. Um, I just wanted something. I figured a lot of people get these majors and then they end up in sort of business related jobs. I'm like, I might as well just major in business because I'll probably end up working in a business sort of environment. And I thought it was something, I can get a job in a business. It's very classes that are practical. So I decided to change my major to business. And I also went back to school. I was living in a different dorm. I knew my roommate. We were more acquaintances than really close friends. She was someone who I had taken. She was also an education major, so she was still an education major and had taken classes with her. But we weren't like super, super close. So I knew I kind of wanted to branch out and make more friends. So I kind of went back with that mindset of I actually want to make an effort this year and try to actually make friends versus being so closed off to everyone. And I think from being open, I was able to make some really great friends who lived in my dorm. They're people that are still my friends. And some of the people I made friends with were actually business. They like lived in my dorm, but they were also business majors. So we had classes together. So it was really great. A lot of the people I made friends with, they kind of had a similar freshman year experience, and they were really committed to like making sophomore year better. So it was a really great year for me. And then I went off for the last 2 years of college. I actually like shared an apartment with some of those girls. So we're still friends now, which has been really great. And that was like a really big life changing sort of moment. So college, like even though it started off a little rough, by the end it was like super great. And then I graduated college and I started my first job. I worked in public accounting, so I had a business degree and I had taken a lot of accounting classes. So I went into public accounting. So that was another big life change. I went from being in college where I had my friends and life is pretty easy. I never had to work a lot when I was in college. I did have internships and I did work some on-campus sort of jobs, but I never had to work that a bunch, which I'm super grateful for. But college was more about, you went to your classes and you studied, and there would be stressful exam periods and stuff, or times when you're working on projects. But a lot of it was more about socializing, being part of like organizations that you wanted to be a part of, and just having time with your friends. And it was just this really great time in my life. And then I go from that to being in my first job. I moved to a new city. I didn't live with my family, didn't move back home with my family. I was living on my own. I moved away from where all my friends were, so I was kind of alone in this new city and at a new job. And it was stressful for me to kind of adapt to working, and especially in public accounting, I was in a job where I was traveling a lot, so the whole thing kind of overwhelmed me. And I tend to get overwhelmed really easily, and it takes me a little bit of time to like get used to my new situation. I don't know. So that was overwhelming. I ended up staying in that job. It got better, and I actually was good at it. I'm always like, I never think I'm good at something until someone says like, oh, you like perform really well. Because I'm always like questioning myself and thinking about what I can do better. I'm always my harshest critic. But I did that job for about 2.5 years. But just in public accounting, you have to travel a lot. There's a lot of long hours. A lot of times you have to work weekends. And the one thing I really hated about it was everyone was my manager. You didn't have like one manager. Everyone who's a manager was your manager. And then there was the vice presidents and like the partners. Everyone was your boss. You didn't have just one boss. So I would be it was kind of a smaller public accounting firm, so I'd be on clients for weeks at a time. But I'm on a client this week, and I have this manager and this partner I'm working for. The next week, I'm on another client, but it's a different manager and a different partner. And all these different managers that you have are all requesting different things of you and having different expectations of you. So it gets to be a lot, and I would feel like there wasn't always someone that I could talk to say, can you help me like prioritize, or I feel overwhelmed. You just had everyone your manager, and everyone thinks like what they're giving you to do is like the most important thing. So I just got a little too much, and I knew long term that I didn't want to stay in public accounting. And actually one of my college friends let me know that her company that she was working for was actually hiring for a financial analyst position. And it really meant they were looking for someone with experience, and the financial analyst position was really accounting based. So when I worked for the public accounting firm, I actually did get my CPA license, so that helped out with getting the other job. So I interviewed for it, and it was a really good fit, and I got the job, and that's currently where I am. So I've been in my current job for 3.5 years, but that was another big change. I had to move to a new area, and just get used to a new job. But I've been in that job for 3.5 years, so my life has had all these like changes, or what I consider big changes. But for the last like 3.5 years, it's been pretty steady. I mean, I've still moved a few times, but I've stayed in my current position. I have had like one promotion, so some stuff has changed at my job. And more recently, I've kind of had been doing the same stuff at my job for the past like 3.5 years. But currently we're like all transitioning the responsibilities that we're doing, which has kind of made the last like month or so like stressful, but it's good. I do think once we've gone through the hard like change, that it will make the job more interesting versus me doing the same thing again and again and again. Even though it's comfortable, I think the change is good. Although right at this moment, I'm like, I don't want. I'm like, I don't even want to think about it, and it stresses me out, but eventually it will be good. But that kind of led me to making videos. I'm kind of was like, I kind of miss making videos. I love watching videos, and I think it's a good like creative outlet for me. It gives me something to do that I feel like productive versus just focusing on my job. So I've really been enjoying making videos, and I'm really excited to kind of be more committed to it versus a few years ago when I was making videos. And all of this, so currently I'm 29. I just turned 29 at the end of August, so newly 29, but almost 30. Next year I'll be 30, and I'm secretly like kind of excited to be 30. I think my 20s had a lot of change and me trying to like figure out who I am. I think that's kind of the point of your 20s. It's a big like transition time. I mean, I'm not going to admit, I don't think in like 10 months I'm going to have it all figured out and like, oh my gosh, this is who I am. But I am excited. I just think the next stage of my life will be so exciting. I'm so excited to see what it will bring. But yeah, so that's me. I did want to give some kind of more interest, more information about sort of my interests and things like that. So besides making YouTube videos, watching YouTube videos, working, what else do I do? So I think I've mentioned I do like traveling, and I'm not like a crazy travel person. I have friends that will travel like multiple times a year, which I think is great. I'm pretty good at like traveling and having a big trip like once every other year. I don't know. I feel like I want to, when I get home, I want to absorb it. And I always keep like a travel journal. So I always want to like document my travels and print out the pictures and create scrapbooks. I don't know. I don't feel like the need to go somewhere all the time, but I do enjoy traveling. I haven't been that far. I've been to Europe 2 different times. I haven't really been anywhere besides Europe. But I'd like to travel more, definitely. My kind of day-to-day interest, I like a lot of media things, I guess. TV is one of my like big ones, which I watch way too much TV. I will admit it. Yeah, but I get so invested into shows, I think. And a lot of them I've been watching for like seasons and seasons. And I feel like TV is something, like some people claim like, I never watch TV. I'm too sophisticated for that. But I think most people watch TV and it's just a thing. So some of my favorite TV shows, my like favorite TV show of all time is Gilmore Girls. I have every season on DVD. I love the show when it was on. I love rewatching it. It's just my favorite. Current TV shows that I like, Walking Dead. I love like suspenseful sort of shows. So I've really been liking Walking Dead, and it recently came back. I also admit I love reality shows. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I only watch like high quality shows. I do watch a lot of reality shows, a lot of stuff on Bravo, like The Housewives. I'm only into like the New Jersey Housewives, which that, yeah, super messed up. But yeah, New Jersey Housewives, New York Housewives, Beverly Hills. Recently they were showing it on Bravo, like the Real Housewives of Melbourne. I was watching that. Top Chef on Bravo. I like reality competition shows like Project Runway. America's Next Top Model. I mean, that's crazy. It's like the 21st season of it. Crazy, but yeah, that's been a long-standing like favorite. I like Vampire Diaries recently has really been really good. And then like sitcom-y stuff. I don't watch that many sitcoms. I'm more into like the mockumentary type style. Stuff like The Office, even though that's not on anymore, like Parks and Rec. Let's see, like Happy Endings I really liked. Now Marry Me is back on, or is on, kind of replacing Happy Endings. Mindy Project I really like. I'm trying to think of what else am I missing. That's pretty much, I mean, that's not all the shows I watch, let's get real, but those are like my standout shows. I always have like shows. I'm trying to cut back. I'm trying to like watch things and like determine like, is this real? Like, do I really like this? Do I really want to watch this? But yeah, those are definitely some of my favorites. Another favorite, which I've mentioned before, is reading. I'm trying to read about 4 books a month. I'm having like an overall goal for this year to read 50 books. I've always loved reading. Like when I was a kid, I'd go with my family to the library and I would get like a huge stack of books. I always have loved reading, and even into adulthood, I'll definitely have periods of time where I don't read as much, but for the past few years I've been doing like keeping track of all the books that I read, and I've had a goal of reading 50 books a year. I haven't actually met that goal yet. I've been doing this since 2012 of having this goal, but hopefully this year I'll be able to have read 50 books. So definitely love reading. Some of my favorite books I love by Megan McCafferty. It's the Sloppy First series. So it's 5 different books, and it's about the main character is named Jessica Darling, and it starts off when she's in high school, and the 5 books kind of go through high school and college and like her early like 20s. Yeah, I love those books. They're like young adult feeling, but it's like any age a person could like them. And it's just kind of her experiences and her relationship, like her first love in high school, and just her kind of becoming who she is. So I really love those books. I love Gone Girl. I recently saw that movie. So good. I love like kind of suspenseful sort of books where that are really page turners. Then a lot of kind of dystopian sort of books. I was really into Hunger Games. And then it took me like 15 years to actually get on this train, but I recently read all the Harry Potter books. I don't know what it was. I think because the main character was a boy, and when Harry Potter first came out, I was like, I don't want to read books about a boy wizard. Like, what is this? But yeah, I recently read those. Those were awesome. Yeah, I tend to also like very adult, I guess, contemporary sort of books. A lot of books about different like families and family dynamics. Those are the main ones I go for, but yeah, I love reading. So I hope to share more sort of book sort of videos on this channel. And my other love is music, and particularly I really love going to concerts. It's been something, weirdly enough, maybe or not weirdly, I've gone to lots of concerts with my parents and my brother and my family, which everyone, like, people are like, well, you go with your parents? Like, what? But we tend to like some of the same music, and I really like going to concerts, and I've been able to see quite a few different people, all the way from like U2 when they were doing their big like arena sort of tours. I've seen Coldplay a lot of times. So I've seen like bigger acts. I recently saw Katy Perry. I've seen like Backstreet Boys was like last year. They did like when they were doing their like reunion tour. That was good. I was like definitely a Backstreet Boys fan back in the 90s. So that was awesome. But I've also seen some like smaller artists, ones that you go to like a smaller venue, which I actually prefer because you can sit up closer. It feels a little more intimate. They tend to give more like, I like when they give background or kind of talk to the audience versus just singing. But I've seen Brandi Carlile. I want to say, like, I think I've seen her twice. Kathleen Edwards I've seen a few times. Jewel. Jewel's been one of my long-standing, ever since I was like a preteen. I've loved Jewel. I've seen her a few times in concert. I've seen Jenny Lewis. Who else? I think those are the main ones. And then recently the music I've been loving, I kind of really love singer-songwriter-y type of music. And I recently bought the First Aid First Aid, I was going to say First Aid Beauty. I'm like, that's not right. First Aid Kit's new album. I hadn't had anything from them before, but they're this Swedish duo that's two sisters. And their sound, like, you think Swedish, you think ABBA, you think Ace of Base, which I loved Ace of Base when I was younger. I still like Ace of Base anyway. But you think of that sort of sound, but their sound for First Aid Kit is very, like, Americana kind of folk music. So if you were just to listen to them, like, I don't think you'd think they're from Sweden. Like, that would, like, I knew they were from Sweden listening to them, but that's not really the sound they give. But I love their name. I feel like it's perfect. It's perfect when you're having, like, a stressful day. It's just kind of calming music. It's music that makes you feel good and not, like, stressed out. So it's the kind of perfect remedy when you're having kind of a cruddy day. So I've really been liking them lately. And I had this big, like, I don't know, like, time when I was, like, looking up new music and trying to search for new music, but yeah, I really love singer-songwriters. A lot of, like, more female artists I really enjoy. Yeah. So that is everything. I've been talking for over a half an hour. I just wanted to give you some more information about myself. I plan to do more of these sort of, like, talking sort of videos, but I hope you all are having a great day, and thanks for watching.